This is the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mohsin.
It's a brand new day with no mistakes, so please feel free to ask the question. As I've always said, keep it simple savings. That's what I'm here for. And today I have a wonderful guest, Rachael Dorr from Boston Community Capital. They do terrific stuff, and I can't wait to share what they do for us here in Massachusetts. Great having you here with me, Rachael.
Great to be here.
Well, this is terrific because we actually worked with you a few weeks ago regarding a refinance. And what is fascinating and very, very interesting to our listeners is that Boston Community Capital offers terrific programs for homeowners who may be heading towards foreclosure, who may have actually missed a couple of mortgage payments, maybe have gone through loan modifications, and you're still able to help them keep their home and have a nice payment and be able to not go through that anxiety. Can you elaborate a little bit more, Rachael, about the programs that Boston Community Capital offers?
Certainly, Sarah. What we do is we buy homes that are from homeowners who are facing foreclosure, and we sell them back to the original homeowner with a new mortgage that we know they can afford. And on average, we have been reducing people's monthly payments by about 40%, as well as reducing their outstanding housing debt by about 40%.
That's terrific. And here's the thing. I chat with a lot of our folks. We have listeners in Florida, throughout the U.S. I guest on radio shows in Massachusetts, as well as Florida, California, and Pennsylvania. So what I've seen here often, Rachael, is that there are folks during the housing market crash and even now that are going through tough times and that are looking to keep their home even after they've missed those payments. And I think one of the worst things is to have to give up that home and not be able to retain that property. And you have helped a lot of folks keep that home and get back into good standing with good credit scores, which we have worked with in order to help refinance them at a later point. So I think that in itself, it's very important for us to be able to share this information. Can you tell me a little bit more about the process for our listeners as well?
Yes, I'd be glad to, Sarah. People who are in this situation generally have, as you said, missed a few payments. They may have missed a number of payments. In some cases, we're able to even work with people after they've been foreclosed on, as long as they're still in the house. The key is that folks have currently stable income and enough to afford a mortgage at the current market value of the home. And we do a loan application process that looks a lot like regular loan application processes, except we don't care about what the credit score is. We know that's already affected by what's happened to them. So we gather all of the documents about their income, their financial situation, understand what their hardship is, and if it looks like they can afford and carry a mortgage, we will approve them for an amount, and then start working with their lender to see if we can get a short sale or a purchase approved.
Right. And here's the thing. I do get a ton of phone calls where folks are at that point. We do the refinances and purchases here at Mohsin Mortgage, but we also work with folks who are struggling and trying to keep that home. Maybe they're at a low credit score, are filing bankruptcy, have missed multiple mortgage payments, are in a loan modification, and are not in a position to be refinanced with us. However, we have what we call a turnkey solution. We're all about providing that service and helping our folks out, our listeners out. And here's the thing. You can reach out, as you know, you can always call me and ask the question. The number here is 1-800-662-9550. And Boston Community Capital, your toll-free number there, Rachael, is 855-604-4663. Am I correct on that?
That's correct. The last four digits spell home.
Home, yes.
That's what we're about.
Now, I think what is so fascinating about this is that there's such great passion and drive. I see that with you and the work that we've done together as well, because the goal really is to help folks not lose that home even if they've missed multiple payments, but you really do help them get to the point where they can actually get back on their feet and refinance that mortgage when their scores go up. Am I correct on that as well?
That's correct. In fact, that's really the goal of the program. We're trying to stabilize the community by avoiding the foreclosure and the vacancy. We're also trying to stabilize the individual situation so that they can get back into the regular mortgage market and get the ability to take advantage of the potentially lower rates that are available through the kinds of financing that you can arrange, Sarah.
Right. And the thing is that it's the commitment that Boston Community Capital has and the service that you do provide. We actually were in a scenario where one of your borrowers who had gone through some difficult times, which is not unusual, especially with the housing market crash in the last 5 years, where they were not in a position to continue making the mortgage payments. And what happened was they were able to repurchase their home and were able to make the payments, and at some point you had steered them in a way that they can recover and regain the credit score so that they could refinance with us and be in a place where they are back to where they wanted to be. So this is really very important for our listeners here to reach out to me, ask the question. If you have more details or need more details on Boston Community Capital, you can certainly call me here at 1-800-662-9550. What is your driving force on this, Rachel? I know you're very passionate about it. We've had some great conversations about what Boston Community does.
Well, we really, as I said, are trying to make a difference here by stabilizing homeowners and the neighborhoods that they live in. And we are a nonprofit. We're doing this to try and set up a model for recognizing that people who've been through this situation, as you point out, are not at fault. They've had hard times, and the property values changed in ways that nobody expected. So we're just trying to see if we can provide a reasonable solution to that.
You've been around for what, 28 years?
Yeah, Boston Community Capital has been around for over 28 years, and this program has been around now since 2009. We've done so far 300 plus mortgages in Massachusetts, and we're starting into Maryland, hoping to go to Florida, which you mentioned.
Right. And I think that what I love about this initiative in itself is that we are all about building goals, reaching goals, and certainly we're in a place here at Mohsin, and we do this every single day. I've asked our callers to tune in, ask the question, keep it simple savings. And if there's a way we can help them, even if, let's say, they've missed a few payments or heading to foreclosure or have entered a loan modification, we will definitely direct you down the right path. And I believe, and I strongly believe this, Rachel, that Boston Community Capital offers the needs that most folks have not seen out there. So I'm very much, advocating folks to reach out. And certainly, if you miss any parts of this segment, you can always call me here at 1-800-662-9550. There's a lot of different initiatives that BCC offers as well, right? Because I was fascinated by a lot of the things that you've entered into in the market space.
Well, we do a lot of other work outside of the residential mortgage business, a lot to do with affordable housing, with community health facilities, financing for charter schools, and some interesting initiatives with energy as well. But this one is really aimed at trying for a win for everyone, where a bank gets a fair value for its property, the homeowner gets a mortgage that they can pay, and the community has one less vacant property.
The thing with what we do here at Mohsin Mortgage is we work with 50 wholesale lenders. So what we're always doing is trying to find that loan for folks from all walks of life, whether they have 580 scores, 800 scores, they have a higher debt-to-income situation, and they've been denied from that loan. And this piece of the puzzle fits completely with our program because, in a sense, Rachel, what's happening with Boston Community Capital is you're offering services for folks who may lose their home based on the fact that they're going to be evicted because they haven't made those mortgage payments, or the bank is going to take over that property. But this allows them to retain that property even after they've missed the payments or they've gone into a loan modification. So for that, I am grateful to you and to Boston Community Capital. Any last thoughts on what you would advise folks when they're calling in, the things that they should have ready?
it'd be great if they can have a good idea what their current income is and what other debts that they have to pay besides their mortgage. Mm-hmm. We will ask them for lots of income documents, just as you do when you're doing your pulling together an application. But we really encourage people to call and find out if it's an option. If there is no fee to apply. Mm-hmm. In fact, there are no fees until we are able to close on a loan for you.
Okay, and you're going to be reaching out to Florida as well as Maryland. Do you know how long that process is going to be?
Well, we're hoping that we're going to be active in Florida sometime in by at least the third, let's say the June, maybe sooner. Mm-hmm. We're in the process of doing our licensing activity right now, because as you know, we've talked about mortgages, mm-hmm. very highly regulated business.
Yes, and so it should be.
So it should be. We're active now in Maryland, mm-hmm. And we were able to do that. It took us about 2 months to get that process kick-started. So
great, terrific.
As soon as possible is the short answer on Florida.
Right. Well, listen, folks, if you have questions, please feel free to ask the question and ask Rachael or myself. Our number here, 1-800-662-9550, Boston Community Capital, 855-604-HOME. That's their number. I thank you, Rachael. I thank your CEO for the hard work and time and investments that you've made towards helping our community here in Massachusetts, and hope to have you back soon.
Well, thank you, Sarah. You have done, I think, the world a great service by helping them to understand that this is an option for them. So look forward to talking with you again.
Absolutely. Stay well, folks.
This has been the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.